We are live. Great. Okay. Welcome, everybody. And as I said, thank you for your patience and your willingness to hang on while we get the technology to work. This week we have kind of a slow week. I did want to show you something. If I can find it here. See. All right. Let me share my screen, if that'll work. Here we are. Go here. All right. Can you see the course outline?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. We are now in week 6, I guess. We are finally getting into macro proper. The first thing that we're going to do is sort of give you guys a broad overview of the rest of the course. And what I did is I actually put my notes in here. So if you click here and you go to the link, this is the topic 5 page, which you can find directly on the right sidebar. But if you scroll down, it says some things. Here's what this is about. But most importantly, I've got my notes here. So read the notes for this week. That's your assignment. All right. Now, see if I need to get back. All right. Next week, okay, a couple things. Well, how do I say this? Okay, next week, I'm going to be on the West Coast for the whole week. That doesn't directly affect the online class because I'll be as present as I usually am. I will have internet access and so forth. The most important thing that you guys can do over the next week is schedule and ideally have an appointment with me to do your test corrections to explain the right answers. I have some time tomorrow. I will be at school tomorrow, at least in the afternoon. I have some time on Friday. If we get into next week, the only time that I have is early in the mornings, so like no later than 10. So hopefully you'll be able to find a time where you can fit into that schedule. The following week starts off with a couple of days of fall break. And then we have 3 class days where all the people that haven't thought about doing test corrections are going to try to do them all at the same time. And judging from the past, it's not going to work very well. So you really want to avoid that last few days. Okay. So what I'm planning on doing next week while I'm away is we're going to get... Somebody has... sorry, guys. Can you mute your mics if you're not talking, please? There we go. Okay. So the topic for next week is how does one tell the state of the economy? And so what you should do is read the first 2 macro modules. If you click on the link here, they're called macro measures of performance. The first one is about GDP, and the second one is like inflation and unemployment. Maybe I've got the order wrong, but that's what the readings are. Okay, at that point, once you've done the readings, I would like to actually do that online discussion that many of you have started talking about. But I think the discussion will be better once you've read the modules and you know what to look for. Okay, so I will try to be present. I will follow that discussion along, and I will occasionally make some posts just to help things get to a conclusion. But that basically tells you what we're going to be doing over the next 10 days or so. These things go really fast, these discussions, once we get into them. You want to, your discussion posts ought to be relevant in the sense that if you come in at the end of the discussion and you start talking about stuff that we've talked about 5 days ago, it's going to be too late at that point. In other words, if you come in later in the game, you need to come in and talk about the things that people are talking about, as opposed to the stuff that happens at the very beginning of a discussion. Does that more or less make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. All right. Make sense? Hi, Alyssa. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you're got it. Okay.
Sounds
Got
good.
it.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Looking down my list. There's really only one other thing that I wanted to talk to you about tonight, and that was most of you have turned in your homework 6, the group assignment, to figure out what the right answers were. I just wanted to remind you that doing it as a group is required. It's not an option. If it's one thing if you can't reach the other people, one or more people in your group, but you need to try. It's important that you work on these things together. We will have more of those group assignments coming up soon. So stay tuned, and hopefully you'll get a lot out of them. All right. What questions do you guys have tonight?
Okay.
Sorry. I just
I
have
have a
one about your availability on Friday. Did you just say you're available like most of the day, or?
This Friday?
Yes.
I do have some time. Shoot me an email, and I can tell you. I'd have to look at my calendar. I have maybe 4 slots left on Friday.
Okay.
A lot of them are taken.
Okay. I'll email you.
Good. Mackenzie, did you have a question?
Oh, yeah. So for the answer key for number 9,
Right.
We couldn't figure out if this was the right answer or not, because we all got it wrong. So what we put was, oh, sorry, I don't have the thing right in front of me.
The question is, after Hurricane Irma destroyed homes in Florida, the equilibrium quantity of lumber, wood, and then we all put increase, thinking that that was the correct answer.
Yes.
But we're not exactly sure what the correct answer was. So we chose increase or decrease. You can't tell for sure.
I don't have that question in front of me, but
Right.
there were 3 parts to the problem. There was the hurricane by itself, there was the tariff by itself, and then there was the put the 2 together.
Yes.
And so was this the hurricane by itself?
This was.
This is because this was the first section of the question. So it was.
Well, then the right answer is the quantity does go up because the demand increases.
Okay.
So increase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people need to rebuild their houses, and so they're going to go out. They're going to go to Home Depot and buy lumber.
Okay, because we chose that and we got incorrect.
I'll go and check and make
sure,
because that was the right answer. Let me just write a note. Check number 9.
And then number 14 was also kind of the same thing, except this one was the combined effect of both events on the equilibrium quantity of lumber.
Yep.
And I chose decrease. I forgot what Mackenzie chose, but I also got that one wrong.
I think we both chose decrease.
Okay. Yeah.
So what you need to do is look at the 2 previous cases and put them together and see what you can tell for sure. Okay, so what I would do is just work through the problem again,
Okay.
and we can do it when you come to do test corrections also.
Okay.
Other questions?
Number 17.
Yes.
So, what we kind of figured out was that it was probably both 1 and 2 are false, and that was the one where it was the second one was all assets are money, which we said was false.
That's the correct answer. They're both false, and so you need to figure out why that is.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Number 23. You were confused on. Sorry, my thing's like still loading. David, do you have the question?
For number 23, I actually didn't put that down because I got that correct. But let me go ahead and go to.
Yeah, I was confused about it. That's why.
Well, if you got it correct, then you can probably explain it to her.
Okay.
Daniel.
Sure. I think. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. But I do have a question. Number 22.
Yep.
It says, according to Robert Hellbroner, the largest shortcoming of a traditional economy is. Now, when we did the test corrections this afternoon, we looked over Hellbroner and we couldn't really find like an exact answer, but I think we kind of like stumbled around in the dark and we found one. Is the answer for number 22 the lack of economic progress in a traditional economy?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. See that? Yeah. All right. And another question. This is the last one, at least from my end. In the Spectre article, the deli money could be considered money because they serve as a unit of account, or is because it's a serve as a unit of value?
What's a unit of account?
I assumed a unit of account would be kind of like a very, very short-ended, like a tab,
Okay. No. So just go into the module on monetary policy and the definitions there.
Okay.
And the same thing is true for store of value.
All right.
I have a question. So for like the extra credit part,
yeah.
Were we supposed to guess exactly what we thought we got?
No. Canvas wants me to put the one and only exact answer down, and because you all had a different answer, everybody's got marked wrong. But that's okay, because I will give you all the extra point.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I already have on my grade book, which is on my laptop, so.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of what other. I think everything else was pretty straightforward. It was just, I felt my biggest issue was I kind of seemed like I rushed through it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And yeah, because you can see the time I spent on the exam was like less than 45 minutes, I think. So that's probably my biggest thing is like reading and.
Mm-hmm. So slow down.
Yeah.
You should have plenty of time.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And so, which one of the discussions is it that we're doing right now?
The one on the state of the economy.
Okay. Oh, that's like the first. Oh, okay. Because I've been responding to like a bunch of them because.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
so,
Mackenzie's getting into the game.
It's better if you read the content in the modules before you start trying to answer those questions.
I was a little confused. Cool, thank you.
Okay. Cool. Now, in terms of the appointments for the test corrections, pretty easier on Skype or Hangout, or is it going to be the same as in office? I know next week you're on the West Coast, so that's out of the question.
It's entirely up to you. I can do either.
Okay.
You know, because when I'm in my office, I'm in my office and I have my computer, so I can do Skype or Hangout. So if you want to come and see me in person, then you can do that. And if you just as soon do it electronically, we can do that too. It's either way.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll send you an email in regards to my availability.
Okay.
A day. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yep. Other questions? Saved by the bell? Okay, well, if you don't have any more questions, we can call it a night. Some of you have sent me emails I've seen, and I'll try to get back to you, and we can find a time to get together soon. So until next week, I guess, I will see you later.
See you later, Professor.